we observed the projectile where I was flying through the night environment. Initial reaction was a sense of shock, but we assessed as a crew, the projectile was from a distance. We assessed that systems-wise, everything was normal. We assessed the flight path was normal. We gave a brief to the mission commander, and through our assessment, we decided to continue the mission.
Subsequently, we also had a very thorough debrief with HQ RSAF on if the second mission could be conducted safely. So we really sat down, we did a proper debrief, we analysed all sorts of intelligence as well as news sources, and we came to the conclusion that yes, it still was safe, and therefore the second flight was launched. I can also elaborate a little bit more about GPS jamming. So in modern conflict times, actually it's quite prevalent for GPS jamming to be conducted in the area of operations, and the crew did experience such GPS jamming. So what happens is that the GPS signals that the aircraft uses for navigation, it will be lost, but we do have contingency plans in place that would be to use backup navigation sources to safely navigate in the area. For this mission, what we wanted to do was that we wanted to ensure obviously the mission was safe. We had to fly in airspace that was not close. We wanted to avoid the conflict area, but nevertheless the route in was still relatively close to the conflict area. So what we did was we specifically chose routes that were plied by commercial traffic. Okay, these routes were also approved by the various governments in the diplomatic clearances. So using such planning parameters, we were able to ensure the safety of the flight. We had to work with very broad principle considerations. For example, for the passengers, even though we did not know how many passengers were going to be on board the aircraft, but we knew that we wanted to give them a positive experience to reunite them with their loved ones back home. So we worked off such broad principles, and really on the ground I trusted my team to react accordingly, to fall back on their training, and they knew exactly how to react on the ground, even though we were not trained for that specific scenario.
So as mentioned, day to day I'm an air refueling operator, but we also do this secondary mission, which in this case was a cabin crew. So we actually undergo a 4-day course trained as a cabin crew, but we only get trained based on emergencies. So how we handle emergencies such as fire or smoke in the cabin, or in case of evacuation or ditching, what are the steps and procedures that we need to carry out. That is the portion as a cabin crew, but in terms of handling luggages, serving meals, bringing them food and water is all human instinct. It is all out of objective of making their flight and life as comfortable as possible here on the MRTT from the flight back from Saudi Arabia to Singapore. So on the first flight, the passengers broke out. Some of them were singing the national anthem and clapping. So at that moment, it just felt very real. Seeing them so thankful and so happy to be back home, it just felt a sense of national pride that Singaporeans are able to come back home safely on board the RSAF military aircraft.
What really resonated with me was after the flight, when I read all the newspaper articles and videos of what we have done. It really sank in that the entire team played their part into ensuring mission success. And so retrospectively, when I look back, there was a wow factor for me, realizing that every person who was involved displayed a sense of professionalism. They gave their all, and they made this mission possible.
To us, it's duty. We train for this. This is our role. This is our job. But to really feel that impact and that outpouring of appreciation after we brought home our fellow Singaporeans, I think that was very, very meaningful.
Thank you so much.